Y'all got me thinking more about the Surface Duo. So one of the nice things about being such a tiny channel is that I can read just about every single comment, all the important comments that really give feedback about anything I'm talking about, and they can influence my purchases even. And as you see in the title of this video, your comments and feedback have been getting me thinking a second thought about the Surface Duo. And down here that I wrote down some notes here, I've been thinking about it. I said I wasn't in the last video, the Let's Talk About Surface Duo video. I said I wasn't going to get the Surface Duo because it was really expensive. It didn't have NFC, it didn't have wireless charging, it doesn't have micro SD card slot and so on like that. But after seeing Dave 2D's little engineering sample and also being able to just read your comments and feedback about why you think it's a good device that you might want to pick up, or that you guys are picking it up because of XYZ, I've been thinking that I might actually get the Surface Duo. Now, will I get it exactly on September 10th? That's to be determined. I have no idea myself yet, but guaranteed by Thanksgiving time frame, even between now and Thanksgiving time frame, I will have the Surface Duo. I have a pretty gut feeling that I'm going to pick it up, because one of the things here that I was thinking about it was the size of it. So this iPad here, this is the 11-inch, it's very dirty, 11-inch iPad Pro, the second or third generation, and it got me thinking. The Surface Duo, the screens, I think they're 5.6-inch screens, I believe, and they're in an aspect ratio that's a lot wider than the average narrow aspect ratio. In fact, like you have the Note 10 Plus here, and if you look at the aspect ratio of that, you see how it looks. It's kind of long. The Surface Duo is not that aspect ratio. I have my S9 Plus over there on the bed, and the iPhone is downstairs. But the Surface Duo's aspect ratio in Dave 2D's video, in Dave Lee's video, I don't know how tall he is, but I'm assuming he's around my height. I assume he's not that tall, but he's not that short either. And his hands look like it would be an ideal device for me. Like, for example, the thumbnail you see in the background of the thumbnail, it's a mock-up of xCloud, directly from Microsoft. That's a Microsoft thumbnail, I believe, and it looks like they have some kind of SDK that allows you to play xCloud with the second screen as like a controller, a touch controller. Now, I don't know how well that's going to work, because there's no like force sensitive shoulder buttons or anything like that. And if it had those force sensitive shoulder buttons, if you're getting xCloud and if you like xCloud game streaming stuff, that would be an amazing device for you. But I know it does not do that, so unfortunately that's too bad. But the dual screen approach. So the last video, I kind of just talked about the specs of it. But in this video, like I said, I'm kind of trying to convince myself to get it. Now, I put 3 notes here, and I put about the size, the practicality, and the use case. Now, the size of it, like I said, I think it's a 5.6-inch dual 5.6-inch screens. They have some special marketing name for the screens. They look really nice. It looks very thin. It looks like the USB Type-C port of, for example, let me get the iPad's thing out. So let me see if I can get this in focus. I don't think it's gonna focus because I'm in frame, but yeah, it's not gonna focus. But the USB Type-C port of the iPad, or even my Note here, there's still a couple millimeters worth of like a couple fractions of millimeters worth of border around that USB Type-C port. But it looks like for the Surface Duo that there's really no space above and below the charging port, the Type-C port of charging. So it's a very, very thin device. I'll put the exact spec of how thin the device is if I can find it. I'll put it on the screen as I'm talking. I like that thinness. Now, we already know that we can be burnt out on having something be too thin if it's not durable while being thin. Apple had that issue, I think, with the iPhone 6, I believe. So let's hope that they've ironed this part out. It's a glass screen, and it's a glass device, just like a Note, and it looks really nice more and more. Like, yes, second generation maybe will have no bezels on either screen, and then let's say third generation we get let's say it's a generation every year, like every other phone that's popular. Let's say third generation we get the true folding phone screen, like the Samsung Galaxy Fold and the Z Fold 2 and stuff like that. Let's say we get that for the third gen. Second gen we get no bezels, better cameras, those features that I was looking for in it, 5G and so on. It could be a killer device, right? It could be a killer device, and it's small enough. Now using having the both screens open all the time, except for being able to fold it 360 degrees, so you only have one screen in front of you. That looks really solid. It looks kind of big when you put it on your ear, but I usually have headphones on as I'm talking anyway. And plus, we all remember about the PDAs of the past, the Palm Pilots and stuff that people used to use. Now, for the practicality, like I was saying, dual screens, right? You can put your email on one side, you can put your YouTube video on the other. When I'm in bed right now, not in bed right now, but like when I'm in bed in the morning and I'm about to wake up, I just sometimes pull it up. Let's see what the stock market is doing. Let's see let's see how my YouTube analytics are doing. Check emails. I have Google open, and sometimes I want to have Google open, and then I want to have, I don't know, YouTube video or a podcast or something, video podcast. I have multiple things open. You can imagine like watching Netflix on one side or Amazon Prime Video on one side, and then you're watching, and then you have your text messages open, texting while you're watching your Amazon video. You know, having two screens rather than one full one seems really cool, right? It seems really cool. Another thing here for the use case, like how I would use it is looking at statistics constantly, because as I'm doing this channel and doing other work too, you know, I'm looking at statistics, comparing things, reading news articles, comparing, dragging and dropping things into my notes to have for each video. And when you only have one screen, it's kind of hard to do that, because you have to hit the share button on Android, and then it pops up a new app which takes over your whole screen, and then you gotta jump back into the old app and so on like that. And it's kind of like a mess in a way, even though it's not. It works. It's worked for ages and it still works. But having two screens and never being completely removed from what you're doing, you know, what you were just doing, could really be a key game changer. You know, the Galaxy Fold, I never got to try it because it's too expensive. The Galaxy Fold, I was watching a whole lot of videos on it when it first came out, and like most people would put just one app to be the full screen to make it like a tablet app. Most people make it just like the size of this iPad app. Obviously, it's not that big, but most people would just make a Span app to be a full screen, and it just, we know tablets mode in Android is not that great. So it's like the full screen apparent approach is not that great other than for video and maybe reading something. So I'm thinking, I'm like, the use case for me, I could stream games, right? I could have notes written down. I could check emails as well as write notes that say someone emails me and I want to write a note from what their email said, right? Twitter open on one side, YouTube Studio on the other, just to check Twitter with YouTube Studio, take a screenshot of YouTube Studio for milestones, post it on Twitter and so on, and eventually Instagram when I get one. You know, there's a lot of cases for it. The $13.99 starting price, it's a lot. It's really a lot. This is truly an investment. And one thing I'm going to say is thankful to have you all. Yes, we're at 172, 173 subscribers now. Thankful to you all, even though it's not a lot. I have so many videos because I have so many questions in my head about the Surface Duo. I have so many videos in mind that I want to talk about with the Surface Duo. It's not just for personal use. It's also because I can help a lot of people and show a lot of people things that they might be able to do with it if they're thinking about purchasing it, if they love Microsoft or if they like Microsoft. You know, you don't need to love it. Even I don't love Microsoft, but I like them because they're bringing out products that are make you think twice. And this is this video. This is my second thought on this product, right? After all you guys, your comments and your feedback and your emails and things like that, xCloud videos, the app reviews that I've been doing, there's a lot of things that I can do. I know there's a lot of app developers too that are app developers on the Microsoft Store, and they are also app developers on the Android Play Store. so I could look at their stuff in correspondence with the Microsoft Store stuff on the channel and show you guys, most of you guys are probably Android users anyways, so there's some things that are parallels between the whole Microsoft ecosystem, and that's kind of where the name of the channel comes from. It's kind of like the name of why I called it Next Windows, because it's like, what's next, right? What's next for Windows? And just because it's Windows does not mean you can't talk about what other things Microsoft's doing in other platforms. So I think I might actually get it, thanks to you all and the peer pressure. I think I might actually get it. I'm gonna have to save up a little bit, because obviously times are tough right now for everybody. But I think I might get it. I wish I could take a hands-on on it, maybe at like AT&T store or wherever. But I think I might actually get it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is a follow-up. This is like a part 2. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but this is like a part 2 of the last one that I talked about, the Surface Duo. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know anyone else if you're planning on getting it, or if this made you think twice as well and made you think, hey, I want to get it too. Or maybe what I said maybe deterred you and said, you know what, I don't want to get it. So let me know. I'm really curious. Let's continue the conversation. That's kind of what this channel is for. Yeah, so my name is Kwaku, and I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, take care, everybody.